There are certain animals out there that are considered to be deadly. They have a track record of killing humans in the past, and when this happens, it's common for people to stay well away. So it's quite surprising when a person does exactly the opposite and actually attempts to start a bond between them and an animal that everyone says to avoid. These people do what was once considered to be impossible, and they develop somewhat of a friendship with dangerous animals who usually will consider a human being as prey. It gives us a new insight into the mind state of these creatures and challenges the opinions and perspective that the general public has on them. So for that reason, we're going to be having a look at just that. So here are 6 people who befriended deadly animals. Number 1 is Casey Anderson. Casey Anderson is a wildlife naturalist who is known for a number of reasons. However, one of the most notable things he's known for is for being best friends with a grizzly bear known as Brutus. Brutus was born in 2002 and Casey adopted him from a young age and has been raising him for almost a decade and a half. While grizzly bears are obviously considered to be quite dangerous, Brutus has been described as a gentle and loyal animal. Over the years, the two have developed a tight bond, so much so that Casey considers Brutus to be his best friend and even made him the best man at his wedding in 2008. Number 2 is Jim Sauter. Jim Sauter was a Canadian man who kept a pet in his home that most people would consider unconventional, an almost full-sized buffalo. Now, buffaloes are considered to be very dangerous to humans because if they get shocked or surprised, they are very likely to charge at a moment's notice. This has led to quite a few instances where humans have been attacked by buffaloes and injured in the process. However, Jim's buffalo, known as Bailey Jr., is tame and docile, to such an extent that he's allowed in the house and Jim will even bring him to the local bar on occasion. He's also built a convertible that's compatible with Bailey Jr.'s needs so that he can drive around with Jim. It seems very bizarre, but Bailey defeats the stereotype of most buffaloes by being very calm and gentle. Number 3 is Kevin Richardson. Kevin Richardson is a very famous animal behaviorist who studies an array of animals that are in the African wilderness. He's developed a special bond with lions, and is even known as the Lion Whisperer for that reason. Now, lions are one of the most feared animals in the wild because of their strength, speed, and intelligence, but it's not impossible to develop somewhat of a friendship with them. Kevin has been scratched and bitten, but it was never in a malicious way. He spends years developing a friendship with various lions and it pays off. The lions he associates with treat him like one of their own. He now produces documentaries based around lions to shine a different light on these animals. Number 4 is Gilberto Cheeto Cheddin. Gilberto Cheeto Cheddin is a fisherman and tour guide from Costa Rica who is known globally as one of the only people in recorded history to have somewhat of a friendship with a crocodile. In 1989, Cheeto found a crocodile who had been shot in the head and spent 6 months nursing it back to health. For the next 20 years, Cheeto and the crocodile, known as Pacho, would develop a very tight bond, so much so that Cheeto could swim and play with Pacho with no fear of being attacked. Crocodiles are considered to be incredibly dangerous, killing hundreds of people a year. It was almost deemed to be impossible to have an actual friendship with a crocodile, but Cheeto achieved this. Unfortunately, Pacho died in October of 2011. Many people believe that throughout his lifespan, Pacho would bite or attack Cheeto, but in the 20 years that he raised Pacho, he never did. Number 5 is Shaun Ellis. Shaun Ellis is an animal researcher who started working with wolves in 1990. His skills developed to the extent that he was able to live with a pack of wolves for 18 months between 2005 and 2006. He was able to become a member of the pack and was treated like one of their own, which helped him learn quite a bit about these animals. He moved them to Devon, England, where he lived amongst them for several more years with his wife. While they do playfully fight, he has a good understanding of the pack, and these fights are never malicious. After years of developing this bond, he now treats these wolves as family. Number 6 is Mark Dumas. Mark Dumas is an animal trainer from Canada who formed a friendship with a polar bear. A video was uploaded in 2012 that showed Mark playing and swimming with the world's largest land predator. Weighing over 60 stone, the bear is surprisingly friendly and has a genuine friendship with Mark, which is strange as polar bears may look friendly but are known to be quite aggressive towards animals that they would consider prey. However, this polar bear, known as Agi, is able to work with humans, so much so that it's been in a number of commercials and movies. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date, you can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter, both of which is theBurk321. But like I said, that's all for now. As always, until next time.